My name is Ari, and I'm voting for Trump.
Gunfire erupted at a Donald Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday.
Somebody actually trying to take a shot at Trump.
Will Trump win the 2024 election?
Wow.
That Donald Trump has the capability to end the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
If they allow these things to continue, America, as you and I know it, is finished. I don't have a problem if someone says they hate me. Cool. I don't like half of you either. America is a Christian country. They want to come for the Saturday people first, and then they're going to come for the Sunday people. Because whatever happens here is going to happen there next.
Thank you to my patrons on Patreon for funding my content. I cannot make these videos without your support, and I really appreciate it.
Shalom Chaverim, and welcome back to Tel Aviv. As Israelis, we woke up today to news that Donald Trump was shot in the head. Being that I am a dual national of both Israel and the USA, this news affects me in more ways than one. And I actually know that it touches a lot of Israelis just like me as well. So that's why I've decided to invite an Israeli Trump supporter to come talk to us about his feelings on what is going on in the USA. Hi, who are you?
My name is Ari, and I'm voting for Trump.
So Ari,
Hey, Tal.
what exactly happened to Donald Trump today?
Yeah, so basically, unfortunately, some loco decided to take a pot shot at him, fired off 5 shots, and thank God he's okay. Because do you understand what the repercussions of those shots could have been and how disastrous they could have been for America?
What are those repercussions?
Well, we see the division that we currently have in the United States.
Correct.
And that division is terrible, okay, for America. But on top of that, imagine if somebody actually did something like that. And now what would the reaction of the people be?
Civil war, some would say.
And that's the worst possible scenario for the United States. That's exactly what Russia and China would both like to see happen.
What do you think is the future of political discourse in America?
More discourse. Okay, I want to see more people talking. I want to see more people arguing and less people trying to shut up the other side. We need to have more free speech. When a platform blocks one side of the argument and doesn't allow the other side of the argument to be heard, that's not good. If you really don't like what's being put out there, you think it's wrong, so post a link to what you think is correct information and then let the person decide. Even though I don't like what a lot of people say, I don't want to necessarily shut them up. And I know that there are a lot of people in the Jewish community who say, oh, we can't allow this type of thing to be said, and we shouldn't allow people to say these types of hateful things. And I say, well, I'm okay with them identifying themselves and putting themselves out there with their hateful words, but let's just make sure that we have a good response, the same type of responses that people like you give, Tal, on your channel.
I have a really important question. What is it like to be an Israeli Trump supporter?
So I think a large percentage of the Israeli people actually support Trump.
Interesting.
Okay? Even though we have a lot of liberal ideas and we have, a very liberal culture and liberal society, we also have a portion of the society which is very conservative. But at the end of the day, we've got a concept in Judaism called hakarat hatov, okay, which means recognizing when someone does good to you. And if you look at the raw data, whether you like Trump or you don't like Trump is completely irrelevant. If you look at the raw data, Trump has done great things for America, and he's done great things for Israel, which, in retrospect, are really great for America. Okay? They help everybody. Everybody benefits. The Arabs benefit. We've got the Abraham Accords. We moved the embassy to Jerusalem. That problem is off the map. Nobody can question that anymore. Many things, he thinks outside the box. He's innovative. He's creative as a problem solver. And he's focused on actually doing good. What else can you want from a president?
How has he personally affected your life? As an Israeli American, as a dual national, I know in some ways, specifically through the Abraham Accords, my life has changed as a world traveler. I've been able to travel to a bunch of countries and have access to places I didn't have before the Abraham Accords. But for you personally, how has Trump changed your life being an Israeli American?
So I'm proud of the fact that as an Israeli American, I've now been able to host and be in contact with people from Dubai, people from Bahrain, people from other countries in the Middle East that otherwise wouldn't have come here. Okay, people from Morocco have been able to come to Israel. Families have been able to visit each other that wouldn't have been able to have done that really as easily before the Abraham Accord. It's opened up trade opportunities. Okay, you have Israeli companies, Israeli startups, startup nation, 7,000 startups with Arab investors who are investing very heavily in Israeli cyber, in Israeli medical companies, in Israeli defense technology. So what's not to appreciate about that and about what it's done for the local economy?
Are you a Zionist?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
You're so proud to say that on camera, that you're a Zionist.
100%.
100% what?
100% Zionist, through and through. Born and bred. 3,000 years of history in this body, right here.
Now, all jokes aside about the Zionism, does being a Zionist by default make you a Trump supporter?
Well, I think there are a lot of Zionists who aren't Trump supporters, so I'm not sure if that rules one thing out or not. But I think that if you support Trump, then you're probably just an intelligent person.
You see a discrepancy between the people who don't support Trump and do support Trump in intelligence.
I see that a lot of people who think they're smart and are pseudo-intellectuals claiming to support ideals that when you really confront them on those ideals, it's not really quite so clear, and they sort of bumble around in terms of their answers. So yeah, I think that when you support Trump and you're clear on what you believe and you're consistent in what you believe, and those are the things that you're putting forward, I think it's more honest, I think it's more authentic, and I think it's more intelligent. If you look at people like Patrick Bet-David, okay, if you look at people, who really analyze things, okay, and like look at things and take them apart and aren't afraid of confronting hard questions. These are the people who I respect, right? You don't like everything they say. I don't like a lot of things that Trump says. That's okay. But at the end of the day, his policies and the things he's done, okay, by and large, have been correct. And when I look at Biden's policies and what he's done, it's a mishmash, it's a mix-up, it's not clear, it's not consistent, and frankly, a lot of it isn't honest.
Okay, so good way to transition into this question. Has your life changed since Biden has become president in America?
A lot of the rhetoric against Jews and against Israel, it started getting bad under Obama. Under Trump, I felt that it was better.
But not perfect.
Not perfect. But under Biden, it's an absolute disaster. And the fact that his administration hasn't done anything significant to combat this, like, I would expect them to do much more. Like, we talk about Black Lives Mattering, right? Well, don't Jewish lives matter?
I guess not. With 400% increase in anti-Semitic activity in America, it seems like actually, I have to pin this on almost all politicians in America. Just the hatred of Jews seems to be something we're just okay with.
Yeah.
By and large.
Yeah. And again, I don't have a problem if someone says they hate me. Cool. I don't like half of you either. Right? That's fine. But I do have a problem when people normalize it. Okay? Like, we don't want to normalize that type of behavior. That people say, oh yeah, it's perfectly legitimate to just say whatever you want about Jews. True, not true, defamatory, threatening, okay, like those types of words lead to actions. The same way we saw those types of words lead to actions of somebody actually trying to take a shot at Trump.
Correct. So all morning that this has been going on, I've been hearing and reading about how the sort of dehumanization that Donald Trump has gone through. Again, not giving my political opinion on this. It's not about me. It's actually about you. But the dehumanization of Trump as a political figure, comparing him to Hitler, making him the worst enemy of people in the free world, has almost allowed for something like this to happen scot-free.
And you told me earlier that on CNN, that they had put up something. What did you say earlier? What was the word?
So the article we were discussing, I wanted to actually get your reaction to this, is that, as you can see on screen right now, there's a CNN article that claimed that Donald Trump fell down. That's what they said, and then his Secret Service picked him up. While all the other news stations around the world are claiming that he got shot, because he did, CNN is going out there saying that he fell. I'm just curious, like, how you felt about this.
Like, when you told me that, I was just like, you've got to be kidding. Okay, there's no way that's actually true. But like, yeah, I see it now. I'm in shock. Like, have we gone that far that we're able to just normalize outright lying? You know, like, let's go Brandon, right? That was like the beginning of this complete alternate reality.
I'll tell you, as Israelis, I feel like we can actually understand this point better than anyone in America right now, because every time there's a war between Israel and Gaza, or Israel and the Palestinians, you always see the rhetoric from places like BBC, CNN saying 5 Palestinians dead, when it's like the Palestinians were the perpetrators of a terror attack on Israel, and Israel ends up killing them.
Exactly.
And so it's the same scenario. It's like almost flipping the article to make it compare to Joe Biden falling down or being too old.
Like, the fact that they lie about us and they say things about us, I'm used to that already, right? But now that they're making it mainstream in America, this is why protecting Israel is so important for America. Because whatever happens here is going to happen there next. They want to come for the Saturday people first, and then they're going to come for the Sunday people. Okay, that's what the Islamists constantly say. Well, I'm a Saturday person. Israel is a Saturday place. If they're successful against us, what happens to America next? And this is not against Muslims. There's nothing wrong with normal Muslims. There's 1.8 billion Muslims in the world. And most of them are really nice people. The problem is the 15 to 30% who are Islamists. Okay, and the Islamists are not nice people. They want to take away your rights, they want to take away my rights, they want to take away everyone's rights. They think they have the right to rule over you. And I think that Trump is the only candidate currently that's willing to stand up to this and say, no, America is a Christian country. Happy that America is a Christian country.
Do you think that that's become a pivotal talking point in this 2024 election, considering what's going on in the Middle East? Is that people are waking up to the fact, I felt like for a couple of years there, it kind of went dormant, the whole conversation about Islamism. While in Israel, we were still battling it. In America, it just stopped becoming a conversation. Do you think that's on the forefront, on the table now again?
I don't think it's nearly enough on the table. Okay? Why does Qatar have so much influence over American politicians? Why does Qatar have so much influence over American universities? Why does Qatar have so much influence over media and broadcasting? It would be something else entirely if Qatar was an open society that was democratic, that had elections, okay, and that we were able to influence Qatar in the same way they're trying to influence us.
Do you think that should be something we should aspire to as Americans?
I think that's something that Trump would definitely put on the table, the same way he has with China and everyone else. He's very clear. He says, it's quid pro quo. Like, you want to have access to our market? Great, no problem. You're going to pay for it, okay? Because we're giving you an opportunity. Why is it that Facebook can't be in China? Why is it that YouTube can't be in China? Why is it they can't watch these videos on those platforms in China? What about Russia? Same thing. Is that fair? Is that what we call fair trade? And Trump is willing to fight for these types of solutions.
Now,
okay?
You've laid out to me really beautifully why Trump is important for Israel.
It's important for America.
For America and Israel, simultaneously.
Yes.
But I think something that a lot of people are very curious, especially going into this election, considering the backbone of this war, do you think he has the capabilities, that Donald Trump has the capability to end the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
I think that's a great question. I think he's done more than any other politician to actually facilitate that. I think he's on the right track. I think he has the creativity. I think he has the drive, and I think he has the desire to do something meaningful. And I would love to see that be part of his legacy.
But so, Ari, you don't think that it's a guarantee that he can actually bring an end to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
I don't think it's up to him. I think it's up to the Arabs, right? The Jews want peace. We've wanted peace, since before the founding of the state. We invited all the Arabs to stay here, to live with us side by side, and to be partners in building up this society and this culture together. The Arabs, on the other hand, have rejected every opportunity for peace that's been offered to them. When the Arabs decide to get rid of the Islamists, when they decide to get rid of all the extremes, we can have peace. But that's on them. That's up to them. And until Arab society undergoes its own reformation, this cycle of violence is going to continue repeating itself, not just in Israel, but across the entire Arab world. And one of the things that I think that's beautiful that Trump has done is the fact that he's reached out to the liberal Arab states. He's reached out to the states that are looking to modernize and that are looking to step into the 21st century. And he's brought them on board and said, hey, you guys can have an opportunity to work with Israel, to gain from Israel's knowledge, to gain from Israel's culture, and to upgrade your societies, upgrade your economies, and upgrade the influence that you have on the world in a positive way. And we can see the results across the region have been incredibly positive.
I want to share with you something as a non-open and proud Trump supporter, as somebody who's, I'm sort of politically unaffiliated in America.
Well, I'm generally politically unaffiliated as well, but there's no question of who I'm voting for in this election.
Which is fair, and I totally respect that. I really do. I had a moment today in the morning where I felt inspired, and it's something I wanted to share with you and get your thoughts on. When I saw the video of Trump getting shot in the face, and he's bleeding, and he fought to get his fist up, to rally up support of his people, and people started chanting, America, or something like that, or like, God bless America, I don't know what it was. And then I watched Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks reacting to that, and even him admitting that it was extremely inspiring.
He did.
He did. When I heard that, I was like, this is a profound moment in American politics, and I think in my entire lifetime, I was born when Bill Clinton was president, I went through Bush, I went through Obama, Trump, Biden. I don't think I've ever had a moment like this where I've actually felt inspired by an American politician. And it's the first time where I was like, damn, this is amazing. This is a nearly 80-year-old man getting shot in the face and still fighting for the American people to get up and say, we're not ending, we're not going to cower in fear, we're fighting to the end. I'm curious to hear how that's made you feel as well.
So, I mean, first of all, I was when I heard about it, the fact that he had gotten shot, I was like I immediately tried to open up the first video that I could find, and I was completely in shock, that this actually happened. I was very thankful that nothing serious happened to him. When I saw his reaction, okay, his first reaction was, what was that? And then he realized that he's actually been shot, okay? And that's when he starts to get down. And everybody took so long to respond. And then they jumped on him and they tried to get him down, and they tried to protect him and everything else. And then you see him getting up, putting his fist up in the air and saying, basically to everybody, we're not going to take this, okay? That's a leader. He's still got blood dripping down his face, and he's up there saying, we're going, we're good. And I also have a few questions. A redheaded guy who saw this guy climbing up onto the roof and pointed him out to the Secret Service and was calling the police, telling the police, there's a guy getting up on the roof, or there's a rifle on his back. Aren't you going to do anything? Why the hell didn't anyone do anything? Why didn't anyone try to stop him? And why isn't that something that's being reported widely?
So Ari,
Yeah.
most important question of the entire video. Will Trump win the 2024 election?
Wow. As long as the Democrats don't cheat, as long as they don't do anything else nefarious, then absolutely Trump is going to win without any question. The current climate, with the fact that they're trying to allow undocumented migrants the right to vote in American elections, is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. We've gotten to the point that states are issuing IDs to migrants, and they're offering them the right to vote in American elections. If they allow these things to continue, America, as you and I know it, is finished. I'm much happier exporting America to the rest of the world and helping other countries have the same rights and freedoms that we have in America, rather than having other places try to come into America and change America from a free country into one under Sharia law, communist, or not in America's best interest.
Ari, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Ari Gottesman on Instagram. That's GOTTESMANN. And I look forward to hearing from you.
All this man's links will be found in the description of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. I love you long time. Goodbye, clats.
If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to monetarily support the channel. Some of the best ways to support me happen to be PayPal, buy me a coffee, or joining our Patreon community. Links to them can be found in the pinned comments or the description of every one of my videos. Joining my Patreon community gives you access to exclusive content and the chance to talk to me on our Discord server. I also go live almost every day here on YouTube. And after my live streams, me and my patrons from Patreon head over to our Discord server to an exclusive after party hangout. Your support is the only way that I can keep creating the content that you love watching for me. Thank you.